What's going on, everybody? Back with another video. Today I'll be showing you guys how to make another Kubotan. This is another DIY video, and if you guys can remember my last video where I showed you guys how to make the Sharpie Kubotan, this is the poor man's Kubotan right here. And I got a lot of good feedbacks and comments from everybody, so I want to thank everybody for your support. Today I'll be showing you how to make tactical macrame, and this is it right here. Essentially it's a paracord with a steel hex bolt inside of it. So yes, this will hurt if you hit someone with it or jab someone with it. So this is my DIY tactical macrame video. Now this Kubotan can be slightly more expensive than the poor man's Kubotan. First of all, you'll need to buy a bolt, or if you have one at home, whatnot. These are not very expensive, like 20 cents or something like that, 25 cents. Paracord, and it comes in all sorts of colors and whatever. You know, you can buy, the average is about $9 for 100 feet, so it's not terribly expensive. But you know, and then the rest is up to you. But this is a box stitch I decided to use on this Kubotan, and here's another example of a finished one here. This one is using a 5-inch hex bolt. Now I know it looks a lot longer, but I did some extra couple stitches up here on the end and on the other end as well before finishing it up. So this 5-inch hex bolt became like 6 inches long total. So this was a little too long to carry in my pocket. I decided to make a smaller one. So today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to make this one in particular. So go ahead and sit back and take a watch, you know, and let me know what you guys think. All right, so let's go and begin. Okay, so the first step, what I normally do, and this is completely optional to you guys, is that I like to wrap up the screw a little bit with some black electrical tape, because what I did on the first one is I did not wrap it up, and you can see the bare metal sticking through the paracord, so I didn't want that this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place the tape over on top here. See if I get my camera to focus back here. Yeah, I'm just going to tape it right here. And smooth all the sides down here. Alright, so basically you got something like that, and generally I like to make it with the head of the bolt here for your thumb. So basically your key ring will be up here, and then this side is for striking. So when you hold it, you can put this as a nice padding for your thumb if you do need it in an ice pick grip. Okay. Now the next bit here is I'm going to take some Gorilla Tape and I'm going to wrap the threads. Now the reason being is because the threads are kind of sharp sometimes, and repeated gripping of the Kubotan I think eventually will kind of fray the paracord, you know, and thus cutting through it over time. So, but if you wrap it up with a nice thick tape, it'll provide a smooth surface for the paracord to wrap around, and you know, it'll have a longer life. Alright, so I'm going to go and wrap this up and I'll be right back. Okay, so here you are. I got the top part here wrapped up, so this is what I'm talking about. So now instead of having your threads exposed like this to the paracord, it's now wrapped up nice and smooth. Alright, of course this will not compromise the integrity of the screw in any way here. Actually, you know what I should do is wrap the tip up here a little bit, just like this, with a little bit of electrical tape, you know. And then, there we go. We'll take this, and I just want to make sure that none of the threads are actually exposed, and just kind of go around and kind of smooth this side down a little bit. And of course, it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be perfect. The reason being is that once you have this thing paracorded up, no one's really going to see it anyways. So, get this off my finger here. Come on, focus back here. Alright, well there we go. I guess I could clean this up a little bit here. Oops. There we go. Okay, well now that we got this done, we're ready to paracord this thing up and see how it goes. Okay, so here we are. I have my paracord here. And to make a box stitch is extremely simple. So what I'm doing is I just have my paracord in a shape of a cross. Now I'm holding it here because I don't have it on the ground, and it's kind of hard to do in the air, but I'm going to do this for you guys anyways here. So if you guys know that when you want to you know, you know how you have a box and has 4 lids, and you fold them over on top of each other. You kind of overlap the lids, right? In order to keep them together if you don't have any tape to hold the lids in place. Well, this is basically the same concept. So here we go. So what you do is I'm going to take the first one and I'm going to fold it over the middle. So this green piece of paracord is underneath the black piece of paracord. All right. So this folds straight over. All right. And then I am going to take this side and wrap it this way. All right. And I'm going to take this side and wrap it this way. Hope you guys can see the pattern going on. So then I got something like this. I'm going to take the last piece of paracord. I'm going to go over this piece right here, but I am going to go under this piece right here, thus completing the basic box stitch. See, basically this is it. Whoops, get my hand out of the way. So you guys see how easy that was? Now the very first stitch, you don't want it like too tight first, because this is where you get to choose how loose or how or actually how long you want your lanyard to be. Now since I'm going to be planning to put a key ring on here, see, if you flip it over like this, you can select one of these, usually a top one here, and I can basically just go like this and loosen it up just a tiny bit, and there you go, there's your key ring. So here we go. So I got that on there, and I'm going to pull the other two a little bit tighter here. And then now to repeat this move, basically you're doing the exact same thing. So let's see here, where was I? I'll take this and fold it over this way, and I'll take this piece and fold it over this way. Alright, I'm going to take this piece, fold it this way, and the last piece, oops, grab the end of it here, is going to go over this piece and then back under this piece. So there you go. Here's your first box stitch right there. Alright. Now, so in order for this to work with the screw, now I gotta go find it, is I'm gonna take the head of it, I'm gonna put it against the initial padding there, and because there's the bolt there, I can easily just kind of wrap this paracord around the bolt, kind of using it as an anchor, if you will, to secure my first stitch. Just like that. So I hope you guys can see that. If you guys want more padding, you can do like one extra stitch before putting the bolt on there. I just decided just to do one. And again, don't worry if the bolt shows through, because you know, you got the tape on there. It should be actually perfectly fine. So, oops. I guess maybe making 2 stitches would be a lot easier. All right. Okay, so here we are. I got a couple more stitches of it done here, so you can clearly see the black and the OD green. Kind of looks blue on this camera here. Now, I want to say that it's actually much easier if you put the screw head on the table like this and hold it still while you're, you know, just doing a little wraparound and just different, you know, doing the stitches here. And as well, at least I found that easier. Also, now I decided not to do this, but also if you'd like to, it may be easier if you took the inner strands out first. Now I decided to keep them in there because I like a nice thick, you know, padding on there. You know, it believe me, it still hurts if you hit somebody with this, so it's not going to really, you know, pad the blow any less. So, but so basically you're going to continue on and wrap this all the way to the tip, and you're going to finish it like any other box stitch and snip it off and burn it, and then you can attach your keys on and you're good to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back off camera here, and I'm going to continue just to stitch this through here. Maybe stitch a couple more here and show you. And again, this is relatively cheap. You just got to go buy some paracord. Paracord's like what, $9 for like 100 feet or something like that. I mean, it's not truly extremely expensive, but you know, for those of you on the budget, you may want to try to, you know, use another type of cord. I don't know if anything else will work like paracord will, but you know, but yeah, it's always good to use this stuff. I love this stuff. See if I can get this in here. Alright, well, I'm going to finish this off camera and then I'll bring it back and show you guys what it looks like, alright? Okay, so here we are. I'm back, and this is the end of it. So you can see on this side, if I can get the camera to focus here, you can sort of see the tape-covered bolt head here. but it's black electrical tape, so it's not as noticeable as it would seem, not like the other one I made. And I left a small little loop for a keychain, for some of you guys may want to have a larger one, you can actually even have a really huge one where you can slip your entire hand through it if you really wanted to, but I don't think that's useful. But however you guys make this is up to you. So I'm getting ready to snip these off. What I did is I pulled these nice and tight. I hold down the tip here, pull it in nice and tight, make sure I got a good solid knot up here. There we go. I think that's going to be as tight as this thing's going to go. And then, one by one, I'm going to snip and burn this thing. So, let's go ahead and start with one of these here. And what you want to do is you want to, snip it as close as possible, or as close as allowed. There you go. There's one. And get this thing here. And you can actually burn this a little bit more around the tip. Ooh. Got a little smoky in here. A little bit more around the tip to kind of harden it a little bit, because this is going to be a striking tool, so you may want to, just think about doing that. So go ahead and do the rest of these here. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see from the back of this camera here, so I'm gonna, let this thing focus back again. All right, here. So, alright, well, there you guys have it. This is the tactical macrame, or smack-crame as I like to call it. Got your little bolt in here. You hold it, you can jab with it. You can, jab in the throat. Again, depending on your guys' hand size, you may want like a longer or a shorter bolt, I got medium-sized hands, and this 4-inch one seems to fit my hand just perfectly fine. Here is the 5-inch one, so there's your little size comparison right now. I could not find a 4.5-inch bolt. Now this may look a little longer because I had some extra, I think I did an extra stitch up here, so it kind of elongated, actually I did an extra stitch down here too, so it elongated it down up to like 6 inches long, so I made this one a little bit shorter here. So yeah, I think this is a nice size for me. So perfect. Alright, well, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Leave it in the comments, PM me, whatever. And I'll be glad to answer any kind of questions you have. Other than that, I will catch you guys on the next one, alright? So take care, everybody.